Hello, welcome, I'm Hannah. Happy 2024. This is my first video of the new year. I thought my first video of the new year was going to be kind of like a channel update type of thing, but I'm not ready to film that. But I am ready to film with the new Forest Hues Mystic Dreams shadows that I picked up from Shine by SD in collaboration with Glamsmitty. So I figured you guys wouldn't mind if that's what we do today. It's like a week after Christmas already that I'm filming this, but I still have my tree out. So I think we should just put the lights on since it's still out anyway. When I got it, I was like, I should definitely keep the box that it came in so I can store it in that between seasons, and then I totally forgot and I recycled the box. So while I figure out what to do with this for the next like 10 months, it will be here for the time being. So I picked up 5 shadows from the collaboration. There was 2 sides of the concept. There was the Forest Hues, which was more earthy, green, yellow type of shadows, and then Mystic Dreams, which was a little bit more ethereal, pinky, purple types of shadows. And something that I like about this collaboration is that there was a lot of different kind of ways to enjoy it. They have this like beautiful 12-pan palette, and my first thought when I saw that was like, oh no, this is going to be like a $200 palette that you have to buy to get the shadows. But no, the palette's just an add-on if you want to, and you can purchase the shadows as singles, as bundles. So I think that level of customization is really cool. You can get 1 shadow if you want. You can get 2 from each of the sides. You don't have to like get shadows that you don't like. And the bundles are more like concepts than purchasing requirements. So I like that. As I said, it's in collaboration with Glamsmitty. She has an awesome Instagram page. She also posts YouTube videos, so I am going to tag her channel down below. But I think we should just zoom in and try out these shadows in my eyes. I'm going to eye swatch them. I don't think I said that. I'm going to eye swatch these. So I have 2 iridescents, 2 kind of darker shadows, and then 1 more like mid-tone shadow. So I'll do the 2 iridescents at the same time, the 2 darker shadows at the same time, finish off with the mid-tone one. The first shadow is called Celestial. This is from the Mystic Dreams bundle. It's described as a pink predominant iridescent multichrome with yellow, green, and blue sparkles and shifts. I actually did wear this on my inner corner yesterday. I do try to like not use shadows that I know I'm going to want eye swatch so I can save my first impression, but I was like, you know, just a little inner corner action. I loved it. I thought it looked so beautiful. So I am going to put it all over my eyes, and I'll see it in a new light right now, but I think I will use it for my inner corner for the finished look, so I can hopefully show you how beautiful it looked there. The shadow looks more hard-pressed than other iridescents of theirs, but it really picks up in a way that's like ideal for my inner corner. Has a little bit of texture, not totally smooth, but not like loose and flaky. I don't have any primer on my eyes. Pretty simple. You know, the funny thing about eye swatching shadows like this is that realistically, I'm probably not going to wear it all over my lid. I do like having the option, especially if I'm like on vacation and trying to travel with as few shadows as possible. Or it can be fun for layering over other shades. But having it all over the lid is where you do see the multichromes. Usually when it's concentrated on such a small area as the inner corner, you're not going to see the variation, but here you can see that. Such like a pretty tone of bubblegum pink, but then I also see like that bronzy red, yellow. You could see the way it shifts in the light. So pretty. It also has one of my favorite qualities of the iridescence that I like, which is where the white base kind of just fades away and all you see is the piecey sparkle sitting on top of your lid. That's one of the reasons that made this such a good inner corner shade for me yesterday. And it also makes it good for like layering and transforming looks. So cool. Celestial has my thumbs up, even though I probably won't be wearing it like this very often. The next shadow is Lothlorien from the Mystic Dreams bundle. This one's also an iridescent, but I feel like this one's going to be a bit chunkier of an iridescent, so I don't know if I'm going to like it for my inner corner as much. Let me see if I can show you how they compare in the pan. I think you might be able to see that Celestial is just like a little bit smoother, a little bit more pressed, and this one just looks like it's going to be more flaky when I pick it up. I could be surprised. And it could also mean that Lothlorien is a better layering shade because it won't disrupt the shadows underneath if you don't have to like press it down to get it on. but just something that I want to point out. Lothlorien is described as an iridescent multichrome with a bright green base and predominantly yellow shifts. Okay, let's see. Okay, despite how it looks, it does pick up in a neat way. I'm a little bit scarred because I tried the Treasure palette from Shine by SD a while ago, which I know a lot of people really like, but for me those shadows were just too loosely pressed and it was just very messy trying to use them. So like I see something that looks chunky and I'm like, uh-oh. But this picked up very neatly. Oh. Very sparkly. Huh. You know, it's interesting. My first impression is that it's not like necessarily the color I was expecting. I do try to stay away from yellow shadows because I don't wear them that much. And I feel like it looked a little bit more lavender in the product shot, but the base just looks kind of warm to me. And I love shadows that contrast warm and cool. But I'm also confused because it says in the description that it has a green base. I'm not seeing a green base. And I also can't tell how the base is disrupted by just like having my skin tone through it. But I think like that looks deeper than my skin tone. I don't know, but I like this. Yeah, like if I saw someone wearing this shadow, I wouldn't think this is an iridescent. To me, this looks like an iridescent. This one doesn't. The like greeny yellow sparkles are so pretty. It really has that like wet effect. I like this. I'm curious to see how this is going to work for the inner corner also, because if it doesn't have a base on the inner corner, then it will definitely be the type of shadow that I like using for both, and I could smother over my whole eye. Okay, I am going to try it on my inner corner. Usually I don't like to eye swatch in my inner corner because it's harder to remove it, but I know I want to do this one for the look later, and I'm dying to see how this looks. So let's see. It does look like a little bit chunky how it picks up on my pencil brush. Yeah, I think I would have to pick up less because you can see the sparkle kind of like falling all around, which is another reason that I like using more smooth shadows for my inner corner. But color-wise, I think it looks like it would work. Yeah, I might have to play around with the shade more. Even if it doesn't end up being a perfect inner corner shadow, I really love how it looks on my lid. So, cool. In less direct lighting, I definitely see a green shift to Celestial. And Lothlorien just looks so out of this world, shiny and beautiful. The next shadow is Mirkwood. This one is from the Forest Hues bundle. I was really excited about this. I feel like it's darker than shadows I tend to go for, especially on a daily basis, but it just looked so pretty that I couldn't not try it out. I will say one concern about it. So I got these shadows in yesterday, and two of them, I think it was the two iridescents, were in this packaging, and then the other ones were in these like little circle bubbles, such as this. So I took Celestial out of the normal packaging to use on my inner corner, and then after I had that on and I was so excited about it, I was like really itching to try the others. So I just took Mirkwood out and I wanted to like hold it up to my face to imagine what it would look like on my eye because I wasn't going to use it, but I really wanted to know. And it reeked of rubbing alcohol. And it was alarming. It was like, why does this smell so strong like rubbing alcohol? I also see this one doesn't have their normal like star imprint. You know, for example, they all have like that star and this one's just totally flat. So I don't know if this one broke and then they used that like technique that people do on Instagram to repress shadows using rubbing alcohol. Because also I did look at their ingredient list and I didn't see anything that looked like rubbing alcohol on the ingredient list. I'm not a chemist, so I don't know if there's like other words for it that I wouldn't initially recognize, but I didn't see anything that said the word alcohol. So I don't know what's up with that. I did end up leaving it like, I left the little bubble that had it open for the past like 24 hours since that happened, and I don't detect a smell anymore. Yeah. So I don't know if that's like a normal thing that brands do, and then because it was like packaged up quickly and sent to me, it just retained the smell. I don't know. I didn't like it. Just figured I would share though because that was part of my experience of getting these shadows. It is though probably the one that I was most excited to try, so all that being said, I'm eager to put it on my eyes. It's described as a dark and grungy taupe-based multichrome with green and golden sparkles and shifts. It does feel a little dry, like I'm used to from Shine by SD, but not so dry. And it does have like a nice textural pickup on my finger. Okay. I am noticing quite a bit of fallout under my eyes. Not always the biggest deal breaker, but it does make shadows less easy to wear. But the color of this does look really pretty. Yeah, I feel like when I move it, I feel the little like particles, like the little sand pieces kind of moving around and shifting and possibly falling. Huh. Yeah, I have a couple mixed feelings. I do think it looks pretty spectacular. Like just talking about the way that my eyelid looks, it's like a beautiful deep base. I felt like it looked like a cool shadow, but then when I look at it here, it looks so warm bronze. And that's interesting. That makes it an interesting neutral. And then the shimmer on top, I wouldn't even just say it's green. It is kind of like a taupey green. So I like that the colors are a little bit off. They're not pure representations of their colors. And that's cool. I did think it might look more purple. I'm like looking at the swatch pictures now, and like that one looks very purple, but I think I have quite a different skin tone than that person. Maybe that's part of it. But even like in this static shot, this looks like a straight up purple. And this is not purple at all. Maybe there will be purple to it when I look at it in different lights, which I will do after I put this shadow on. And I think I'm just saying all of this because I was a little bit unsure about what this shade was really going to look like. And this isn't what I would have guessed. I like it. I think it looks pretty spectacular, but I also think that the fallout might keep me from using it. Like the fallout is the difference from it being like an easy to wear, easy to throw on shadow to being kind of like a production to put on. But then again, knowing this, I probably will apply it a little bit more gingerly next time. Yeah, I like it. I feel like I'm coming off critical. I'm just confused, but I like it. I think it looks really like special. The next shadow is Intangible. This is from the Mystic Dreams bundle, and this one I mostly wanted because I was confused about the difference between this and Mirkwood. Looking at it, this one looks way more purple. They look to be like a similar depth. We'll have to get that on the eyes to see. I do kind of feel though that like the purple in the swatches from the Mirkwood pictures looks more like this one to me. And like this Intangible product shot, does that look more like that one? I don't know. I don't think they're like mislabeled or anything because this like crossover confusion existed within me when I was deciding which ones to get. So again, I think I'm just confused. It's described as a dark, grungy purple based multichrome with pink and green shifts. This one feels really similar to Mirkwood. It had like a little bit less spread. I feel like I had the same amount of finger go in and the pickup of the shadow was like a little bit more confined. That's pretty. I picked up a little bit more. Yeah, I feel like the formula of this one's a little bit more refined than the Mirkwood one is. Because I do think they're similar depths, but this one just felt like a little bit neater. Again, if my theory about Mirkwood is true and it was like broken and repressed with alcohol, maybe I'm not getting like the pressing experience that you were meant to get with it. Because I feel like if this one went on like this one did, I would be like obsessing over Mirkwood. Because the color of Mirkwood, I think I like a little bit better. I definitely prefer something with like a warmer base. So I like the base of this. And this one, like, it looks more of like a blackened gray. And I can't imagine myself reaching for this one as much. Also, even though they're both very shiny, I still think Mirkwood is a little bit more shiny. That could also be because of the contrast in the base. It makes the sparkles stand out more. And yeah, I think when it comes to like which one I'll reach for more, I do think the color of Mirkwood's going to prevail over the formula of Intangible. I just wish I could have had like both of those in one, you know? But this is really pretty. It's like a pinky purple sparkle. And I am seeing some like bronze shifts. Ooh. Oh, that looks nice. That looks like 2 shades in one. I like that. I bet both of these two would be like really great with a lot of mattes on your lid. If you wanted to do like a really like smoky look with a lot of blown out mattes. Either one of these I feel like would be a really good pick. But yeah, I do gravitate to the colors of Mirkwood just a little bit more. I see why I was confused about the colors. Something about them, maybe just the fact that they're a similar depth, just makes them like a little bit indistinguishable. But I do think that we saw the differences in the other lighting. Mirkwood is more sparkly, Intangible is more shifty. We're on to the final shade. I put eye primer on just so I can continue to wear this look all night. The shadow is Ethos from the Mystic Dreams bundle. It's that like shade between pink and purple that I love. In person, I thought it looked like it might be a little bit more purple, but looking at it on camera, I feel like it might be a little bit more pink. Either way, I'm into it. It's described on the website as a pastel purple-based multichrome with predominantly yellow and green shifts. Feels a little softer than the others when I pick it up, but still like a nice amount of texture that I get on my finger. Pretty. Yeah, my first thought was that it might be similar to, is it Sprinkle Whips, I think, from Divina? But having it on my eyes, I feel like it looks more pink. Yeah, and having it on both my eyes, I feel like I don't have a shadow this exact color. As I've said before, when it comes to shades that I really like the most, I have more tolerance for like similar shadows because they'll be different to me. But if it's a color that I don't tend to wear, then something that other people might think are different aren't different enough for me. You know what I mean? I feel like I don't have too much to say about this because there doesn't appear to be any kind of like crazy visible shift or anything. Like my first impression is that the color's the most interesting thing about it. It is a nice, pretty, super sparkly finish. And I am seeing like a little bit of warmth where it's like hitting the light. So maybe we'll see more than that when we like check the other angles for this. I'm gonna make a look around this and I'll be right back. And here is the finished look. I have Celestial on my inner corner, as I said I would. I don't even think it translates on camera how pretty I think it looks in person, but it just looks like a ton of little pinpoints of bright bubblegum pink, and I really like it. You might know I love using Divina Soleils for my inner corner, but I feel like that creates more of like an overall glow effect, and this one's more like PC sparkle. So I think both of them will have like a place in my makeup collection. I used some Intangible, just like on the outer part of the wing layered over Ethos. I probably do prefer the look a little bit without it, but it was in the spirit of trying more shadows, adding a little bit more dimension to this look. And then I just did a Luxie shade in my crease and a couple shadows from Norvina Volume 4 and 5 for my lower lash line. It's the next day. I wasn't able to keep filming yesterday, but I have a different eye look on, so I'll show you that one as well. So this look is just Lothlorien all over the eyes. I have it with a Luxie matte in my crease, and having that small contrast does show me that the shadow doesn't really have a base. I don't know what it is about it that was making me feel that way, but I'm like, this is slightly darker than my skin tone. What is underneath this sparkle is my skin tone, but it is such a bold, intense sparkle on my lids, and I like it. I did pair it with Lightyear from Terra Moons for my inner corner, just because I didn't want to risk Lothlorien not working for my inner corner. I am curious to compare their sparkly levels, and I will compare that in the comparison, because I do think that, base or not, Lothlorien might be too sparkly for my taste for inner corner shadows. But pairing these together, like, it does look like one shadow, very similar looking sparkles. I can just tell that Lothlorien has an intensity that Lightyear does not. Although Lightyear is also a very, like, bold and capturing shade. I don't have many comparisons for these. I do try to purchase shades that I don't already have, and I think in this case, these shadows all feel very unique to my collection, but I will show you at least one comparison for each just so we can get kind of like a reference point if that's what you're looking for. And also I haven't like swatched out on my hand any of these yet. So first we have Celestial from Shine by SD and Glamsmitty, and I'm going to compare that to my favorite pink inner corner, which is Divina Soleils. Shine by SD Celestial, Divina Soleils. So I think you can see like very different finishes on them. Also the multichrome in Soleils comes out way more. You can see that like peachy gold to pink shift very clearly. And I think this is why I'm excited to have both of them, because they both are very different pink inner corner shades for me. I think I said this in the earlier part, but Soleils looks more like a glow. Celestial looks more like a PC sparkle. Celestial looks in my inner corner the way that I expect iridescence to. It's Soleils that's kind of like a unique take on an inner corner shade. Next, we'll do the one that's on my eyes, Shine by SD Lothlorien, Terra Moon's Light Year, which is on my inner corner, and Cleona Luxe. Lothlorien, Light Year, Luxe. These all have similar vibes, but different effects. I would say Lothlorien feels the most kind of like ground. I think Shine by SD has a bit of a drier formula. These aren't the driest ones that I've tried, but it feels more like little bits of sand in not such a rough way. But if you know, you know, I hope. I think Light Year feels the most smooth, and Luxe is a very chunky shadow, but it feels like soft flakes when you pick it up. All very pretty though. I think Luxe is the shiftiest also. Shine by SD Intangible compared to Divina No Place Like Home. Intangible, No Place Like Home. Intangible's definitely much more silverish, but they both have like grayscale bases with a purpleness to them. It's just the purple in No Place Like Home is bolder. Shine by SD Mirkwood compared to Copacetic Ball Drop. Mirkwood and Ball Drop. Definitely very different formulas. The copacetic one is a flaky, which I think you can see in the swatches. I thought these would be comparable because they both have like a warm base and cool sparkle, but I think Ball Drop is warmer in the base and much more colorful in the sparkle. Mirkwood kind of feels like it fits in between the shades in Ball Drop. Both really pretty though. And lastly is Shine by SD Ethos, which I'm going to compare to Divina Sprinkle Whips, Divina Kazookles, Divina Nocturne Ash, Cleona Tracery, and Shine by SD Mountain Magic. Shine by SD Ethos, Divina Sprinkle Whips, Divina Kazookles, Divina Nocturne Ash, Cleona Tracery, and Shine by SD Mountain Magic. So these are all in the same family, but all quite different. When I put on Ethos, I thought it looked more pink than purple, but I feel like it does have more in common with the 3 more purple shades than it does with Nocturne Ash and Mountain Magic. It also is like a very piecey sparkle, much more so than any of the others, but it doesn't look sheer on the lid. It doesn't show up on camera very well, but I think Ethos also looks very cool with its shifts. Nocturne Ash is like shifting all over the place to my eye. I really see the blue in it, but it's not coming up. I love this color family. I'm quite pleased with this batch of shadows. I feel like from purchasing from Shine by SD, I've had some like big hits and big misses, but all of these, formula-wise, are really nice. And what I noticed from the comparisons is they do have this unique vision of like super sparkly finishes, and I'm so excited about that. I'm so excited to wear this shade more in my eyes. This is the kind of like sparkly, interesting neutral I've been really gravitating towards. So although it's similar to Light Year and Luxe, it's different and I like it. I am the most excited about this one, which is Lothlorien, Ethos, and Celestial, and I bet I'll get the most use out of Celestial just because a good pink inner corner is something that I reach for like multiple times a week, and I'll be able to give Soleils like a little bit of a break some of the time. I would love to know if you guys picked up any of the shades, if you picked up the ones that I didn't pick up, if they are the same like really sparkly finish as these 5. I'm curious if the whole collection is like this or if I just happen to get lucky with my picks. Let me know. And that's going to be everything for today. If you enjoyed this, I hope you'll give me a thumbs up and subscribe. It really means a lot to me. There's always way more makeup content on the way. Thank you so much for being here. Bye.